So I had to block this person because they got a little violent in the comments. But essentially, in response to one of my videos, their comment was, well, can you imagine if we didn't go to Canada because of Trudeau? Like, this is gonna destroy American businesses, and you're cheering. Way to come so close to understanding the point and fucking missing it. But also, no, nobody's cheering for businesses to fail. We are all aware of how important small businesses are and how much Project 2025 is trying to destroy them. But can I imagine people not going to Canada because they don't like the Prime Minister? I can imagine people not going to Canada because one time on the highway, somebody with a Canadian license plate cut them off in traffic. Yes, I can imagine people making free choices. I can imagine people not going into a business that has a Trump sign in a window. I can imagine a business with a Trump sign in the window going all the way to the Supreme Court to not have to bake a cake for somebody who walked into their business. Yeah, I can imagine that people make choices based on their beliefs. I can imagine people hated women and minorities so much that they had to use the excuse, I morally can't vote for her, in order to avoid having to face their own racism and sexism. I can imagine a lot of things. But in a world where one social media post can keep you from getting into university, can stop you from getting a job, even when you think that video is no longer available, the internet is forever. I can imagine an opinion you had 10 years ago can keep you from a job today. I can also imagine that you want to have choice. You want to vote for Trump, but you don't want to see your business fail as a result of people reacting to your vote for Trump. The people have a lot of power, but really only a few ways to express it. Violent mob, sit down and do nothing, and spend where your values are reflected. If a business does not reflect our values, if a country does not reflect our values, it is well within people's rights to not spend their money in that country. America wants to tariff anybody, but doesn't want anybody to tariff them. No, we don't love America enough to just bend over and take it. Oh, well, Americans, we like them so much, we'll actually pay tariffs. In opposition to how tariffs actually work, we'll just start spending money and sending extra to Americans because that's how their president said it should work. I saw some dating video thing today, which was like, they're not grateful for what you do for them because they don't want it to be you doing it for them. If Biden had shut down these borders, if Biden was doing this stuff, you'd be losing your minds. But because it's Trump, you're overlooking all the problems Trump is creating for you. And you're blaming the Canadians, the Europeans who aren't coming to America anymore, who aren't spending their dollars in your business. First of all, there's no guarantee Canadians are going to be able to get in. Even if they are willing to cross the border, there's no promise they can get in, and there's no promise they're going to get back out. It's very like Hotel California, like, oh, you can check in, but if you were thinking of getting back to your family in 3 days, no. Like, can you imagine you get to go visit Disney, you love Disney, it's great, you go to check out, and they're like, oh, no, you're stuck here, and we'll just max out your credit card, and when your credit cards max out, well, then you can just come here and work for us. You can never leave the Disney park again. That churro that was so delicious 4 days ago is now the worst food you've ever tasted. You wanted Trump. You wanted to vote for Trump. You wanted all the benefits of Trump, but you want none of the consequences of Trump. That's not how it works. You have free will. You voted for who you wanted to be president, and you wanted some glorious outcome where everything was better for you. And now that it's not, you're not going to blame Trump for having any part of this. Because I promise you, if Trump was like, you know what, we're going to do all the other stuff, but we're going to step back on immigration and tariffs. I realize those are crushing average American. There would be Canadians that started to cross the border again just to pick up groceries and gas. But right now, they're weighing it. And with every purchase I make in America, it encourages your president to screw me further. The more of my Canadian money I send over the border, the more I screw myself, because then he argues it's working. Don't be mad at the tourists and the consumers for the reason your business crashes. It's you, your choices, and the person you voted for. And everybody else that is going to suffer because of Trump. your business is going to fail. But so are thousands of others, hundreds of millions of others. Las Vegas exists for tourists. Disney thrives on tourist dollars. If tourists stop coming, we got a problem. Universities make money off of international students. International students stop going. Student loans are no longer handed out. Universities stop thriving. Universities stop thriving. The businesses in town that feed off of students fail. But to say Trudeau is just like Trump, there's no difference. You wouldn't not go to Canada because of Trudeau. You can't not come to the U.S. because of Trump. Yeah, Trudeau never skipped over due process for over 200 people, some of which were, like upstanding citizens, no criminal history, no hint of anything gang-related. And for $6 million, he has stuck them for life into an El Salvador jail. Trudeau threatened us with his abs. Not the same.